So my utensils are normal scissors, although I have some that have got like a bend in, comb, and a brush, I'll get a brush out in a minute, and most importantly of all, the thinning scissors. Kestra, up. Good girl, gorgeous girl, clever girl. So I'm going to show you, it's pretty straightforward really. You're going to sit? You're pretty good, aren't you? Let's get the camera lined up, hang on. There we go. Zoom in a bit. And is that in focus? Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Not bad. Okay, so all you do with the ears is give them a bit of a brush and brush the hair upwards so that it's sticking up. Obviously make sure there's no tats in them first, but obviously I do her ears regularly, so there's definitely no tats in them. So once you've got the hair brushed up, if you look at the sort of length I tend to go for, it's around about, at its longest, it's about 2 centimetres long, roughly, 1.5 centimetres, maybe to 2 centimetres. Now that's my personal preference. Some judges like them to be a lot like short and a lot shorter than that, but again, it's personal preference, and also a thing I keep sort of telling myself, and I have heard it from judges as well, is that puppies, Kestra, head up darling, you can't see the camera when you put your head down, good girl, is that while they're puppies certainly, you can just sort of get away with them being that little bit longer because they're still puppies at the end of the day, and most judges still like them to look like puppies. So as you can see, all I'm doing is literally just very carefully thinning the hair, and that's exactly what these thinning scissors are supposed to do. So as you can see, I'm sort of moving the scissors around, up, down, left, right, so that not particularly any two cuts are the same, like in the same direction. The idea being, obviously, you get the hair off like that. But the critical difference between using these and like a normal pair of scissors is, as you can see, sit, good girl, it doesn't leave any scissor marks. You can't see that I've done anything as such, other than obviously the hair's been thinned. So that, yeah, thinning scissors are the way forward when it comes to thinning ear hair. Just be very, very careful, obviously, not to nick the skin itself, because it is easy to do, especially with new scissors that are really, really sharp. I don't tend to do along the edges with the thinning scissors for that exact reason, but I'll show you the edges in a minute. So like I say, I didn't really have to take a great deal off her ears anyway, because she has them done regularly, because we've got that many shows on at the moment. I tend to just keep on top of them, but I just thought I needed to get a little bit more off them, so I thought I'd do a video. And then tomorrow's video, good girl, I'm going to do, hopefully, if I get round to it, I'm going to aim to do the feet and neck trimming, well, like throat sort of trimming. But that can be tomorrow's job because I'm starving and my tea's going to be ready any moment. So that's that ear. So I'll quickly whiz through the other one, just exactly the same. In fact, no, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'll show you how I do the edges. So again, I don't really have... This is... You ready? Oh, who's a pretty girl? Good girl. Good girl. Go on then. Okay, so I thought, for the sake of the video, because honestly on Kestra's ears, she really hasn't got a lot of hair on them, so I thought I'd demonstrate them more on her mum, Kira. So it makes a big difference. It's a very, very, very vast difference when you've got sort of like au natural versus the what they expect you to see in the show ring. Do you know what's this? What's this? There you go, good girl. So that's what you look like, natural. Good girl. Sit down, darling. Good girl. So again, we're literally just using the thinning scissors. Give it a quick brush. Vaguely brush it upwards, and then start trimming. So just the same as with obviously Kestra. Key thing is just to be careful not to cut the ear, because that's the last thing you want to do. And it is easy to do because they are very, very, very sharp. So just keep going at it. I think I'm using my old ones because these aren't very sharp, are they? I might have to swap for my new ones in a minute. See how it looks in a minute. Because doesn't seem to be taking much off. I've got 2 pairs because they do get done over the years. So as you can see, just keep hacking away at it, different angles. Careful to keep away from the edge of the ear flaps because you don't want to be doing them at this stage. I'm sure these are my old ones, these are just not cutting very well at all, but you can see how much is coming off them. I think I will swap for my other ones because they're definitely not cutting very much. Are they not? They're not doing a lot, are they? Right, stay there. What's been here? I get them mixed up as to which pair's which. Are these the new ones? Are these the old ones? I don't know. I should have got a different pair really, shouldn't I? But I've got an identical pair. We'll find out. So let's have a go. Can you sit down? Good girl, good Jess. Good girl. Yeah, I think these are the better ones. Seem to be cutting better. So just keep hacking away. Keep hacking, different angles. I was saying there, Kira, sit down please, not helping. Sit. Kira, sit. Good girl. In the UK, it's very different to America and a lot of European countries in that they take the hair off right down to the bottom of the ear, whereas the American standard seems to be leaving the hair really long at the bottom of the ear to sort of naturally droop down. I quite like both styles, to be honest, but you know, you can't please the UK judges by having American style ears, so it is what it is. So let's keep taking that off there. Good girl. I'll fast forward this because it'll be getting boring. It'll be getting boring. It must be. So when it comes to doing the backs of the ears, stroke underneath, again, you just don't want to make it look too artificial, just keep taking it little bits off at a time. Hang on, it's stuck in my scissors. You just, again, you're wanting to sort of blend it in with underneath in the back of the ears. Right, Kira, keep your head still, darling. Keep your head still, gorgeous. Good girl. On you, keep your back. Big piece. Keep still, baby. Again, you know, you're getting off quite a decent amount each time. Got significantly different from the other one. I'll do a before and after shotting them in. Then take a little bit more off if you see under here where, around here, darling, this bit here, you want that bit to sort of be a bit less obvious. Oh, time is going off. So be really careful underneath the ear because obviously they're going to be really sensitive to the sound. Dog's not used to the sound of the scissors, and obviously, you know, you really don't want to be nicking them. Because there are flaps under there that you may not be aware of, so do be very, very, very careful if you're not used to doing it, especially if your dog's also not used to having it done. What you'll find as well is if you've got a dog that gets itchy ears quite regularly or inflamed in the inner ears or ear infections even, doing that underneath really helps because, as you can see, it's opened up the canal a heck of a lot more than what they're born with. You can sort of see that. It's a big difference, and as you can see, I've only been doing it for what, 20 seconds. So if you spent another half a minute doing that and taking all that off, air gets in a lot easier. You'd be surprised by how much difference that can make to some dogs of all breeds of long-haired, long-eared dogs. So that's a good tip for you in general for your dog's ear health. Luckily mine aren't affected by yeasty ears or ear infections or anything like that, generally speaking. I've not really had any problems in that department. So there we go. looks. Yeah, good girl. A lot better. And then the final finishing touches, again this is like I say just for if she was going into a dog show in the UK, is same as I sort of showed you yesterday, or rather in the same video because I didn't bother posting it, so it'll be in the same video, but in the earlier part of the video, you just want to use normal sort of scissors, like, or flat scissors. Mine have got a curve on them, but only, you know, you don't have to have curves on them. These are just what I prefer to use. You could just use normal scissors. Now this is critical you stay still at this point, Kira. Kira, stay still, darling. Good girl. So what I do, no, facing that way is not going to help you. It's just nosy because the neighbours keep coming back from work. Right, keep your head still. There we go. So as you can see, if you keep still, Kira, there's a line I'm aiming to follow, which is from where I've cut it there, and I want to sort of smoother taper it off up there. Great, stay. Stay. You're a fidget today. Yeah, you're being a fidget. Again, be very careful not to cut the edge of the ear flap because it is very easy to do, and if you've got new scissors, grooming scissors by their very nature tend to be very, very sharp. So just be very, very careful, and remember you can always come back and do more. You're better off taking little bits off and coming back rather than taking off too much and regretting it, because it isn't going to grow back instantly, and if you've got a show that weekend or something, you're a bit screwed. And yes, I'm talking from experience. So we're getting there, we're very nearly there. Just trim up these bits, tidy it up. I think from what I can gather, and I'm fairly new to the show ring, well, very new to the show ring, but from what I've seen of dogs that do well in the show ring, they're natural still, like a lot of breeds, you know, like poodles and things that have to be really groomed quite differently to how they look naturally, but at the same time they are a lot neater than they grow naturally. You know, like obviously if this was just a pet dog, you really wouldn't need to be doing all of this. So, like I say, I've discovered that there really isn't many videos for UK grooming standards, so I thought, why not? I'll just add to the collection. So as you can see, that, I mean, again, it's not perfect because she isn't going in a show, but it's pretty much, I'd be happy to take her in with that. Well, I wouldn't, in the sense she needs a neck doing still, but her ear, just as a standalone thing, her ear itself is perfect, I would say, pretty much. Before and after. It's not the best angle, but it gives you an idea. Let's move on to your feet then. How are we going to do this then? Let me see. We're going to be about right. So, feet are something I used to hate doing because I just didn't know what the heck I was doing really. Despite being shown a fair few times, it just came across as really scary. But I think the main thing I've recently learned was not to overly worry about exposing the nail, because some breeds you really can't do that with, and in my head I've just assumed Irish setters were one of them. But I've since found out from a lady that groomed Kestra for me for Crufts, who is a professional groomer. She has taught me a lot, and the stud dogs owners that we use to produce Kestra, they've taught me an awful lot as well, and it's just practice, to be honest, and getting your confidence up to know that you're not messing your dog's feet up. Obviously, if you've just got a pet and they're not going in the show ring, it really doesn't matter anyway. You're not realistically going to hurt them with this type of scissors. Certainly not on the feet. You can't really cut them as such on the feet with these scissors. So if you've not got a show dog, you've got even less to worry about. So as you can see, they are done regularly. Hang on, I should move the camera. That's what they're like at the minute, in their natural state, as it were, since I last did them 2 weeks ago. for the last show we were at. So hang on, how am I going to do this? I could do with a film person here, couldn't we? Someone to film it for me. My husband's at work. Easy. So again, you'd only ever use your thinning scissors. Some people use a brush or a comb to brush the hair up. I do a little bit sometimes, as you saw briefly earlier, but primarily I just use my finger. And what you're looking to get is you're looking to get the hair from in between the toes up, because that's what you're trying to get out. It's far easier to do it that way because it's just better for your angles, but I try to do the vast majority of it this way, which is not easy when it comes to angles. Good girl, good girl. You want to go going in a straight line down towards the claw. Steady, good girl, steady. Wait, good girl. A lot of the fidgeting is because they don't have the best balance when they're like this. So just be patient with your dog. So I try to do the majority of it this way. It's sometimes literally impossible, especially with the back feet sometimes, just because of, like I say, the angles. The only reason I tend to try to do the majority this way, and I don't really know if there's a massive amount of truth in it, steady, is I've been told by more than one person, so I'm going to assume it's true, that by doing it the other way, again, like just primarily if you do it the other way, there will be bits I have to do that way just physically because I can't do anything other than that. But if you're doing it that way, if you're going that way all the time, you tend to make the hair go lighter. Why that is, I've got absolutely no idea. But yeah, so basically, like I say, that's pretty much it. That's not very helpful. You moved your foot again, haven't you? Come here, foot up. Talk to her like she's a horse. So yeah, you can see, you know, there is still, like, get your nose out, good girl. Again, I'm going the wrong way now, as it were, but I'm just doing this for the video, just to sort of tidy up where there's still little bits sticking up and things. But all this exposing the nail thing, as long as it's neat and it's like that, pardon you, don't worry about it. Basically, I used to, and I needn't have done. So once you've got to the way you're happy with that sort of like outline of the foot, what you're looking to do is, the judges are looking for like a neat edging around the edge and the back feathering, where the feathering comes down. If you've never done it before, you'll find the feathering goes to the floor. But again, to sort of get a clean profile, you switch scissors. You've gone for your straight or normal pair of scissors at this point. Back up. And what you find again, she's already got hers done because she does it. I do it regularly. But if you hold your thumb about an inch above the back pad and just cut straight across the hair at the very back, while I've got the foot up, this is when I'll take some of the hair off from underneath. It's personal preference how much you take off underneath. I personally prefer to leave them quite natural, just because I do a lot of like all of their walks are off lead in foresty, gravelly, rocky rivers and things. I just prefer them to have decent amount of padding on the feet because it's just better for them, in my opinion. Plus the judge isn't ever going to pick up the feet and look underneath the foot, so I just don't see the point in taking much off underneath the foot pad, which I will finish off in a minute because she's just fidgeted a bit too much. But from a perspective of round the edge of the foot, I tend to, I won't be able to do it else I'll get in the way of the camera. I tend to do this. It's probably going to be better off me doing it this way around. So I tend to get to the level of the foot myself and, like, stop it, I know it tickles, she's got tickly feet, this one. So I just go around the edge. You see, I can't see on the video, Kester. There's no point taking the video because I can't see. So just literally going around the edge of the foot. Same with this side, but because the camera, I'll have to do it picked up. So you're just literally looking to tidy off the edges. Again, be careful not to cut them because you can cut them with these scissors, especially when they're fidgeting. So you want to be cutting the hair off, or thinning it out at least, underneath the nails. Obviously keep the nails nice and trimmed as well. And that's pretty much a wrap. So yeah, pretty much a wrap. Let's do this one just so we've, dew claw wise, which is something I've had to learn with Kestra because Kiwis were taken off by the breeder. I'm assuming I'm doing it right in that you just sort of like, again, you're thinning the hair out, but you don't want to be making the dew claw stand out like a sore thumb. You don't want to be taking all of the hair off so that there's just a random claw there. As far as I'm aware, I've never seen anyone do that in the ring, like anyone with a dog like that in the ring. Kestra. Again, maybe it gets different when they get older, I don't know, but certainly for puppies, that's where I'd like them to look. Right, come here, sit. Good girl. Let's do one of your back ones for a laugh, because they're always much harder. So I find the back legs just harder because of the angles, and unless I'm sort of doing it on the floor with her sat in front of me, I physically can't do it where I'm doing it from that angle. But I mean, you know, maybe I'll regret it when she's older, I don't know, but so far the hair's growing back the same colour. It's never grown back a lighter shade on the front kind of thing, on the back or anything, so I just go for ease. Again, like I say, she is done regularly, so there's really not a lot that needs to come off. When you first start doing it, or if I was to do Kira now, it would take me a lot longer because there's a lot more to come off. But you're still looking at a fairly quick job. Assuming your dog's good at standing or sitting still, you could get the whole 4 feet done in 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not a massive job really. Also remember that the more you practice, the better the dog gets as well, because it does take trust on their part. You know, like any animal, when you're using scissors or clippers or anything like that around them, they've got to trust you, they've got to know that you're not going to hurt them or anything. So just build that trust up slowly, and it just gets easier in time basically. So same with the back feet, with regards to like tidying off around the edges. She has got tickly feet, so she's bound to try and kick at some point. Hang on, services around. Good girl. I'll go on to talking you through the rest of it in a moment, but I might as well finish this one while we're here. So that's her done. While she stood nicely like this, I'll go through what we do. Again, this is for the show ring. The back of the hocks, they're expected to be, they're expected to be completely sort of 90 degrees to the floor from this joint onwards. So again, she has hers done quite regularly. Again, you're going back to your thinning scissors for this one, and you're just going to go, just keep going, keep going, keep going. You can't really go wrong doing this. So you can do this quite quickly. I've never cut a dog doing this. I don't think you could physically cut a dog doing this, but I suppose there's probably a way, so be careful. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep occasionally brushing it back up again, seeing where you're up to, because sometimes you'll be surprised, you think you've got it all off and then there's a big tuft you've missed. So I tend to try and do it with her in the stand position, but like her foot's in the right position, so because it makes sense, because then at least you can see what the judge is going to see, and they're stacked in the stacked position. Yeah, you got there, darling. It's not bad. Blend the edges a little bit if you need to. It's not a massive deal if you don't though. It's more just about getting it so it stand. Good girl. So when you ruffle it, there's not a lot comes up basically. Stand. Kestra stand. Good girl. Good girl. Just a little bit here. Happy with that as it is. Yeah. And then stand. Good girl. Going back to the underside of the foot. Again, you just take your scissors along the back edge there, make that a nice straight line. Again, she's only had these done 2 weeks ago, so there's quite a bit of hair, but as I was saying before, I leave a lot in just because I just don't see the point in not doing. I think it's as long as the pad, you can see the pads, because the pads are what gives them grip. As long as you can see the pads and it's nice and clean around the edges, I just prefer to leave it quite natural because I just think it's safer for the feet. Same with the front legs, the front feet, sorry. You want to be like steppy, good girl. Trim a little bit underneath the claws, just again because that improves like the outline of the foot. The feet are described as, the judge likes to see them, they like to be cat-like, is how they describe them, which is a slightly strange term really, because I sort of see where they're going with it, but I don't think you're ever going to get them to look like a cat's feet. But yeah, that's basically it. So I'll take some close-up pictures and I'll do the other ones. Okay, part 3 is this possibly, depending on the order I post them in. So this is little Kestra who I did the ears for yesterday. Oh, I keep saying that and I never posted the video, so it's no point me saying yesterday. The earlier video is what I keep meaning to say. And again, she is doing regular shows, so she's sort of kept on top of, so that's why I've just sort of demonstrated with her mum instead. But I'll take a little bit off her neckline today, but again, with her being a puppy, there's really not a lot I need to take off at this stage. Oh, I think I might have got the wrong scissors again. Good girl, hang on. Let's carry on with them for a minute, we'll see. I'll swap if they're the blunt ones. I knew I should have put the other ones away. So what you're aiming to do with the neck is, again, you'd only ever use thinning scissors in the UK. Don't be tempted to use clippers to speed it up. I mean, there will be people out there that do. Personally, I don't know anyone, and I therefore haven't got the confidence to try it myself, because I don't know what detrimental effect that might have on the coat. So I'm just doing as I've been taught by very helpful people that have helped me get to where I am now, where it comes to showing. So what you're aiming to do with the thinning scissors along the neck and the chest is you go into the breastbone there. You can't miss it. Run your hand down and it's the only bone you come to. It's quite prominent, and you're aiming to go to that point and sort of form like a, I think these are the rubbish scissors. I'll swap for the other ones in a minute. You're aiming to make a V. In fact, I'm going to try the other ones. Let's just see if the other ones are better. They are better. Well, how did I get them mixed up again? They're better, much better. Yeah, so as you've probably just seen in an unplanned demonstration, having a decent pair of scissors or a sharp pair of thinning scissors makes all the difference. So if yours are just a bit rubbish, get yourself some new ones. These were only about £7 or £8 on Amazon, so they're really not, I'm not a professional groomer, and therefore I'm not going to be spending, 40, 50, £100 plus on a pair of scissors, which professional groomers do. Then the bolts come out, useful. Right, hang on, hold that thought. Okay, so like I say, cheap pair of scissors, but they're dead easy to fix. That bit just sometimes comes loose and falls out, so you just have to put it back in. But I've literally just done that in the space of like 3 or 4 seconds, so I didn't really need to stop the video after all. So yeah, basically, like I said, you're looking to sort of form a V. Move the camera around a little bit so we can see a bit better. I should have thought of that before, really, shouldn't we, Kestra? And not going below that bone. And the purpose of this is to, the purpose of it is to, well, I don't know the technical term, but basically just to sort of highlight their features, and it sort of like refines the neckline, so that when the judge is looking over your dog, it's like a cleaner line of sight from the side, where obviously when you've got your dog stacked in the ring side on for the judge to see, it's just what they like to see apparently. Once upon a time, and I think it's probably still some countries now, they take, some would take even more off and use clippers to clipper it really, really short. And again, I mean, you're going back a while now, but again, I suppose there still will be some countries, or even some show exhibitors, who go to the extremes of taking literally all of the facial hair off, like, so this is the whiskers and these little fuzzy bits under there. Now I don't agree with that personally. I think these hairs and whiskers are sensory, you know, like they are, like whiskers serve a function, whiskers are there for a reason. So in all honesty, if I ever got told I had to take them off, unless by then, you know, she was some sort of top show champion, they'd be getting told that's me out of the ring then, because I just don't agree with it personally. But you know, each to their own. At the end of the day, it's not going to hurt them, but I just don't agree with it. So that's that basically. So, Kestra, what's this? No, that's not your cue to get up. Sit. Good girl. What's this? What's this? What's this? Good girl. So that's about roughly where I would leave it. Oh, she's looking for she wants a close up. Look at me, good girl. So there's one last thing that I wanted to demonstrate today. And the grooming, instructional grooming videos. Kestra, sit. I've done all her feet now. Sit. Good girl. And that is the very top of her head, which I'll just wave this around. As any setters, anyone with setters will know, they get the wispy bits, they get the afro bits, don't you? You get your sticky uppy bits. So on certainly Irish setters, they tend to come through quite blonde, which isn't a big deal. It certainly doesn't matter if you're not going in a show, but for showing purposes, you need to sort of aim to get them off. So bring in the next tool, which is called, I think they're just called stripping knives. You can't cut yourself on it though. It doesn't, you know, it's not like that kind of tool. So all you're doing is you want to be getting hold of the hair. Oh, so you should have put the camera the other way around. If you pull the comb up that way and get hold of the hair like that and pull just gently, you get a little bit. Just getting in the light. You can see a little bit of hair it's brought off. In fact, I think I'm just going to move the camera around. Let's try moving the camera around. There we go, that's going to be better. So yeah, so literally you're looking at getting hold of the hair in the knife, in the stripping comb, sorry, and just plucking it basically. Doesn't hurt them, as you can see. It comes out pretty easy. It's just dead hair essentially, that's all it is. It's just dead hair that needs to come out. You can use it on any part of the body really, but this is primarily the only place I would use it on an Irish setter. Would be the top of the heads, down towards the ears a little bit. Doesn't take long. I mean, I know I've said before she gets done regularly, but it really doesn't take long. You're looking at under a minute to get it done. And I'll show you the end result in a second or two. It grows back really quickly, does this, but it's so easy to get rid of, it really doesn't matter. Let's see what that looks like. Come here. Come here. Stop it. Yeah. Keep checking where you're up to. You always miss little bits. Go back over it. See where, spot the blonde bits. Pluck a bit more. And that's a wrap. Oh no, hang on, I've missed a bit here. Tiny bit there. Well, that is a wrap, and that's the amount that's come off in 2 weeks since the last time I did it. So the end result is, Kestra, sit. She wants another close up. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. End result in, I think I could probably take a little bit more off, but get your head down, darling. I can't see. The blonde bits are gone. And that is Kestra groomed to UK dog show standards, as far as I'm aware. But again, do teach me more if someone else knows better tricks or better ways of doing things, because I am very new to it all. So thank you for watching, and it's over and out. Goodbye.